Good morning. Good morning and welcome to day 4 of my 3 countries in a week adventure trip. It is 3 minutes to 8. I am sort of ready. I don't know if I told you last night, I decided that I would go for a breakfast about 8 o'clock so I could have a leisurely breakfast. I'm going to take my morning pages with me, sit in the dining room and write those and have a little bit of breakfast, and I'm hoping for tea. I slept okay. Before I go to breakfast, let me tell you what the day's activities are. Also, this was a genius. This is a 3-way USB charger, but it's a really powerful one at 70 watt in total, which is really handy. Obviously 70 watt if you're just charging one thing, and it comes with a European plug but also a British plug. Right, let me tell you what is going on today. As there was with the Gutsy Girls, there is a WhatsApp group. So quick plan for Wednesday: meeting at 9:30 in the hotel lobby, 30-minute drive to see a waterfall, 40-minute drive to a ski and hiking centre for our sports activities, dress in layers for moderate movement, weather should be sunny, around 6 to 10 degrees. This is the problem I was having last night with deciding what to wear. When we were in Norway, it was -6 to -12 and I was toasty in the layers that I took. I've got my Terex cross-country ski trousers on because they are super comfortable, really stretchy, and I think they will do me all day, probably for the next 3 days. I've got those on, but I've not got any layer underneath, and I've just gone with a base layer t-shirt and a mid layer. Then lunch at 1, short drive to the nearby smoke sauna location. Excited about that. Have swimwear and flip-flops close at hand. Around 5 o'clock, leaving towards the Hula Manor Hotel, about 1 hour, 10-minute driving time, and we'll make a short stop about halfway for snacks and drinks. For dinner, we have a table at the hotel at 7:30 p.m. Right, that is my day. So I'm going to go to breakfast. Lovely breakfast. I'm just not very good at eating breakfast, so I had a couple of pancakes, one with raspberry jam, one with apple jam, 3 cups of tea because there's no tea making facilities in the room, and now I have about 20 minutes or so to get everything ready to meet up at 9:30. Had a nice chat with a couple of the other ladies on the trip. They do quite a lot of these tours where somebody else does the logistics. Japan, and they've done Iceland with them, and they've done Mexico and South America and all sorts. They've just done loads, and I'm really inspired by that. And they were encouraging me to go to Hong Kong in the autumn, and that is what I'm thinking about. So you've heard it here first. Can I make Hong Kong happen? Anyway, I need to get myself sorted out. Let the tour begin.
Days like these, the only thing that feels right is eating dark chocolate and drinking red wine in the night. Yeah, they're sweet like you, but I can chew them up as they go down. But
amazing, amazing. Stunning.
blow my mind and paralyze me every time you're not around. Not around. So please, oh please, tell me what you want from me. Said please, oh please, tell me what you want from me. Days like these, when I lay down, it's the only quiet I have found. 'Cause my thoughts just won't shut off, they just keep on flowing. And they can't tell no way in hell just where this silly game is going. This silly game is going.
Well, a very good evening to you. I have just arrived at the Manor Hotel that I'm staying in for 2 nights. It has been the most fantastic day, and we have got exactly 9 minutes before dinner. We have just arrived. I'm clearly having to do things while I'm talking to you. We left the smoke sauna place at, I'll do a recap of the day later, just after 5, and it was going to be a 1 hour and 10 minute drive plus a 20-minute stop. So I was thinking, that's great. We'll be here by 6:30. It is 7:20. My goodness. It's been a really fantastic day. I just now feel we've done smoke sauna this afternoon and I did a cold plunge in bog water. But anyway, I wanted to let you know that we've arrived. The wardrobe, the little case shelf, and I think this must be the bathroom. Oh wow. A nice enough bathroom, don't you think? Shower, toilet, sink. Okay, haven't got time to unpack. Got time to change. Put some things on charge. Let's get on with this thing. Right, this is wasting my time, isn't it? And I'll come back to you after dinner. Well, good evening, everybody. It is now 5 to 10 and I am absolutely shattered. I'm so tired. I mean, I've been pretty active today and obviously there's been a lot of peoply stuff in between. I have not drunk enough water. So I have my water in a wine glass because that's the glass that was in the room. Let me catch you up on all of that B-roll that you'll have watched in the last 3 or 4 minutes. That's better. I'm in a proper armchair, and then this here is my Velux window, which is currently wide open, and then this is a mosquito net. Not needed at the moment. The mosquitoes aren't out yet as far as I'm aware. I think we've seen one fly, and our guide Anton said, oh, I think they must be the first fly to wake up, so I'm not worried about biting bugs tonight. Let me catch you up on my day. This is a very boring backdrop, isn't it? I probably could have done better than that. Let's go here. It's just boring. I'm so sorry. It's been pretty much all B-roll, but it has been an excellent day. I showed you breakfast and we packed up the van and the car with the luggage and we drove maybe 20 minutes or so and we stopped at Estonia's largest waterfall and it is partly frozen. So it's the 11th of March today. Spring is on its way in Estonia. The frozen lakes, the frozen rivers, the snow is all melting. There's quite a lot of snow about, there's quite a lot of ice about. It's not as thick as it has been over the winter. So the waterfall was flowing a bit, but not very much. And do you know what? It was just spectacular. As has become my tradition, I'll put some photos over the top of my talking. And then Anton, the guide, because that was the first time we'd all been together, because some of us arrived later than others yesterday, he served us some peppermint tea and some marzipan. So marzipan was invented in Estonia, so he served us some raw marzipan. And then we drove for another half an hour or so and we ended up at Snow Sports Activity Centre. They have miles of cross-country ski tracks through the trees. Particular activity we went to do was kick sledding. Cross-country skiing was our backup activity, but there was enough snow and ice for the kick sledding. You need more for kick sledding than you do for cross-country skiing because they make the snow for the cross-country ski tracks. Basically, scooters on skis, but you have 2 skis either side and you do the kicking in the middle and it has a handlebar. It's a lot harder than it looks, a lot more energetic than it looks. I knew it was going to be energetic, but I thought I would get the hang of it without any problems. And actually, when we were on the flat bits or a very slight incline or a very slight decline, I reckon I did get the hang of it, albeit the conditions were quite difficult. I found them difficult. I wasn't able to read the terrain because obviously this was my first ever go at this sport. I found steering nigh on impossible. I got told that it was counter steering, which I understand. You move your knees and you move your arms and you move your weight about. I couldn't do that and kick. Does that make sense? We did a 4-kilometre loop. It was really, really fun. I'm glad I tried it. But to be completely honest with you, I think that's me and kick sledding one and done. Then we had lunch at the Snow Sports Centre and then back in the van, 15-minute drive to an ancient even tavern farm, which was all wooden built. It's like something out of the Middle Ages, in the middle of absolute nowhere, down a very icy and muddy and horrible to drive along country lane, sort of unmade, so gravel, under a thick layer of snow and ice. It was a little sketchy going down there. We learnt about and took part in the UNESCO listed Estonian Smoke Sauna. That was such a good way to spend the afternoon. I can't remember the lady's name, but she gave us the history of the farm. She talked about the history of smoke saunas. She told us all about how saunas developed from smoke saunas to having chimneys and why this one is listed. She talked about the different traditions. She talked about how people take the sauna. And then, of course, we then took part in the sauna, the hottest sauna I've ever been in. There was a cold plunge, which was a hole cut into a pond, which was bog water. I took a dip in bog water. I took 2 dips in bog water, in fact. The trio was the cauldron hot tub, which was incredible. It was a cauldron. We walked into that bit, it's the first thing I saw. Cauldron sat on top of an open fire, steaming hot, to go up a big ladder to get into it. I loved that. The whole thing, the setup, the history, the tradition, the sauna experience, the cold plunge and the hot tub. I'm definitely going to be writing that up for my sauna stories because that is a fascinating one. I think that's you caught up. So it took us 2 hours to get here. It was like we went through some sort of wormhole that took longer to get somewhere than shorter. So we ate in the hotel this evening. Dinners are not included on this trip, unlike the Gutsy Girls trip that I did in Norway. Breakfasts and lunches are included, but dinners are not. So I can't remember the name of this particular manor house, but we're in a manor house hotel. Manor houses in Estonia aren't necessarily people's homes. They were built as trading posts. Companies built them. So this particular one is all about vodka. It's absolutely gorgeous. My room is huge. I think I'm going to be very comfortable. I've been talking for 16 minutes, which obviously once I've edited it, I'm not going to have talked for 16 minutes, but my goodness, have I yapped about today. But it has been a most excellent day. We've done a lot, but it hasn't felt over the top. Without wanting to make this soliloquy any longer, I think this is the end of the vlog, isn't it? I think we need to finish this day here. We're not meeting until 9:30 again in the morning. I can do a similar routine as today. I just hope I sleep well and that I wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and ready, because tomorrow's going to be a long day. Not only are we doing a 3-hour snowshoe hike, which I'm very excited about, we're also cooking our own lunch outside in the afternoon, and after dinner going on a night hike. I think it's more of a night leisurely stroll along the beach, but still. So with all that being said, it is time for me to finish this and say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, including my rather weird monologue. Please like this video if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Good night.